What's the people? How are you doing? Listen, hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you're doing okay. Yeah. Time to discuss all of the Champions League madness from yesterday, today. Yeah. Every single little details that happened, the record, Bodo Glimts. Yeah. Bodo in their way through everything there is to Bodo. Yeah. I'm impressed with Bodo Glimts. Yeah, I'm impressed with Bodo Glimts, by the way. But before we get into all of that, how about you hit the like, hit the subscribe? Much appreciate it. See, thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into it. This week, Champions League, yeah. I thought I was gonna get shocked. Now I get shocked, but to understand both the Glimts doing what they did, that shocked me, right? I thought Atletico Madrid wasn't gonna go through. They did. PSG on the other hand, they were struggling. The big names were finding it difficult to be able to find it, get it easy into the Champions League. The playoff was not easy. I will tell you that. As a Chelsea fan, I'm happy Chelsea was not even in that playoff because I don't know if Chelsea had played both the games, if Chelsea had qualified. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure that will happen. But PSG managed to get through. We'll go through all of that one by one, yeah? But what a week it has been in the Champions League, though. Now, let's get into it. Atletico Madrid, right, versus Club Brugge. The first leg ended 3-3 at home. Listen, Club Brugge, yeah, the form that they show, absolutely amazing. Atletico Madrid qualified on aggregate, whereas 7-4. So the second leg ended 4-1. Yeah, to Atletico Madrid. Solov's coming in, scoring. I think he didn't really play the first leg. The second leg, he started the entire game, right? There was changes that was made because I think in the first leg, the Griezmann and it was Griezmann, Lookman, and what's his name? Alvarez. Those three people. Now in the second leg, Griezmann didn't start and Lookman didn't start the game because Lookman came from the bench as well. But Lookman gave an assist for Solov to score as well. But listen, they got 4 goals past Club Brugge and they went in. Unlucky Club Brugge. You did what you could do. I was hoping you impressed me. Right? But looking at what it is in the round of 16, right? Atletico Madrid has advanced, right? We know that. So they could either face Liverpool or Tottenham. So one of the English boys. They're going to be facing one of the English teams, Liverpool or Tottenham. Now, if they face Tottenham, they're safe. I can promise you, if they face Tottenham, they are safe. But if they face Liverpool, there are 2 things involved. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Mario. If they face Liverpool, it could go either way. It could go either way. I'm not saying Liverpool hasn't really been in the grade of in the best form ever, but if they do face Liverpool, it could go either way. But and then we move. Leverkusen versus Olympiacos. Not really a bad game if you look at it, right? The first that Leverkusen did what they were supposed to do away, right? So they got the 2 goals quarter day, right? In the second leg, it ended 0-0, right? Which basically in the second leg, all you're trying to do is manage the game. But again, it's 90 minutes. So you have 90 minutes to manage the game. But they were able to do what they were needed to do in terms of managing the game. Chelsea learned how to manage the game, being up and then losing the game. But they managed the game and now they're through. And they, on the other end, can either face Bayern Munich, yeah, or Arsenal. They they are very, very much in a hard zone. Bayern finished second, Arsenal finished first, right, in the league phase. If they face Arsenal, they out. If they face Bayern, they out. I don't see a world where in Leverkusen go past either Bayern or Arsenal. I don't see it. Now, if Arsenal going to go out of the Champions League or Bayern's going to go out of the Champions League, I can tell you or almost guarantee you it's not going to be Leverkusen that is putting them out. No. But listen, Leverkusen, if you play Arsenal and you shock me, yeah, I owed you. I would find Leverkusen jersey and buy it and put it on. Now, listen, if you get to face Arsenal and you shock me by setting Arsenal out, I'm buying a Leverkusen jersey, right? But we move. The next game, Inter Milan versus Bodo Glimts. I feel like I'm a Bodo Glimt fan right now. I am a Bodo Glimt fan. Listen, I have nothing against Inter Milan. I have nothing against them as a team. Nothing, absolutely nothing against them. Now, sorry, the scores here said 1-3, but it was actually 2-1 to Bodo Glimts, right? But in the first leg, Bodo Glimts, Bodo 3 past them. in the first leg, they put up 3 past them, ended 3-1 in the first leg. And then the second leg, at home, Inter Milan was at home, and they still managed to score 2 goals. In Kanji, right, basically, offering Bodo Glimts the very first goal. And then the second goal, what a pass, yeah? Let's see. Bodo Glimts so far have been the most impressive team to watch in this whole playoff round. Yeah, that Bodo Glimts, I'll give it to them. So they have made their way through into the next round as well. And who do they play next? Who do they play next? So Bodo Glimt progresses, and they could either play Sporting or Manchester City, right? If you play Sporting, you say, forget Sporting. If they play for Sporting, they save. If they play Manchester City, you never know, because they play Manchester City earlier in this whole league phase thing in the same Champions League, and they smoked them. I call them the giant killers because they've been knocking down all of the giant. Atletico Madrid, they killed them. Who else did they kill? Now, Inter, they killed Inter. I think Man City also. So these 3, all of them down by Bodo Glimts. And last season in the Europa League, they also got Tottenham, and they whipped them. Bodo Glimts. Bodo Glimts, yeah? I'm a fan of Bodo Glimts, by the way, if you didn't know. I know nothing about them, but I'm a fan. Henceforth, I'm a fan of Bodo Glimts. Until they face Chelsea in the Champions League, I'm supporting them. But we move. Newcastle versus Karabakh, right? Well, if you look at this game, you think it's an easy game for Newcastle, right? To an extent, it was, because in the first leg, what did they do? They put what, 6? They put 6 past Bodo Glimts. Not Bodo Glimts, sorry. It can never be Bodo Glimts. My bad. It can never be Bodo Glimts. They put 6 past Karabakh at home. Karabakh was playing at home, and they put 6 past them, basically burying the game. Gordon scoring a hat-trick. Nice, right? And then they did the whole switcheroo thing where they had this guy, Watamada playing as a 10, and you have Gordon playing as a 9. So it's, it's like the reverse. Usually it's the other way around, right? Watamada playing as a 9, and then you have maybe Gordon playing as a 10 or on the wing, but they reversed the whole thing, and it worked. And they got 6 past them, right? And then in the second leg, they buried the game, right? 3-2. That's it. Call it a day. What's his name? Got in on the score sheet. Tonali, brilliant player, by the way. Brilliant player. Took the ball, drafted with it, found himself in the ball. I don't know. Ball move around 1-2, buried it, right? And then you have, what's his name? Joe Linton too, also on the score sheet. Now they move. And yes, the interesting part, they could either face Barcelona or they can face Chelsea. And the way they're moving, yeah, I don't want to see them. Because whenever we play these people, when we go away to their home, it's never a good day for Chelsea. When we go to St. James's Park, it's never a good day at Chelsea. And the way we're moving very inconsistently, right? I do not want to see them. And then we also have PSG. Like, low key, I'd rather have PSG than Newcastle. But Newcastle can face either Chelsea or Barcelona. But we'll see what happens. Let's see. We are the Blues, the world champions. Now, I have on a Madrid kit, right? But we are the Blues. We are the Blues. Yeah, we waiting. Nah. But we move. PSG versus AS Monaco, right? This was another game, right, to watch. Because in this game, you saw PSG playing at home, right? And you think everything was going to be easy for them, right? Because it's PSG, right? Last season, they was the best playing team in Europe, like the team you want to watch and the team to beat as well. But this season it haven't really been the same. Now they still have majority of the same players, right? Nothing really I think have changed other than the fact that Dembele is getting injured every single day, yeah, and that's basically Dembele for you, right? But I don't know. But in this game, right, AS Monaco got a record, which I don't think was necessarily a record, but they did. Right? It's granted, they did. PSG drew the game and then got through. But AS Monaco got a record, and I don't think it was a record. At the time, right, they were up. Monaco was up 1-0, if I'm not mistaken. And then came back, PSG came back, scored the equalizing goal through Marquinhos, and then another goal was from Squavascalia. and they threw. So the game ended 2-2. They also got the equalizer, in this game, AS Monaco, but it wasn't enough, and they had to stay. But I was praying that they shock me, because now Luis Enrique came out to say, right, between Barcelona and Chelsea, he'd rather have Chelsea. And now that's the interesting thing too. Between Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain, I'd rather have Paris Saint-Germain. Let's see. I know it's gonna be a tough game. I don't expect that game to be easy, but also this thing, I expect us to be able to go to Paris Saint-Germain, whether it's at home, at the bridge, whatever it is, to be able to get that way. Yeah, because I do not care about them. I do not care for them. He said he wants Chelsea. He's gonna get Chelsea. Be careful what you wish for. Yeah, I'm praying right now that he gets Chelsea. Be careful what you wish for, brother. Yeah, because the way we about to be moving right now, because we either win the Champions League to have a Champions League football next season. So Champions League is important. Or we get top four, and the way things are moving in the Premier League, it is not looking good, brother. So be careful what you wish for. Yeah, be careful, Luis Enrique. But listen, we move because I don't want to talk about it. The next time I see that guy, yeah, we ready for him. Yeah, we smoking them again. Yeah, we bringing back the club workers. Ja Pedro, Pran Ja Pedro is coming back. Pran Cole Palmer is coming back. Club workers, Ja Pedro, club worker Fano, Cole Palmer. They all coming back. Regimes present. Yeah, Cucurella will be there present. They're not ready. They're not ready. Liverpool, hopefully he's back. Lavia is forget it. We move. Yeah, we move. Atalanta versus Borussia Dortmund. This was another interesting game because Dortmund scored the first goal, right? And you think it was gonna be it. Dortmund scored the first. No, what's it called? No, Atalanta scored the first goal. Dortmund came by equalizers, right? Putting them up in aggregate again, and then Atalanta got mad, came back with 3 goals, putting them ahead, winning on aggregate 4-3 because they lost the first leg. What was it? 2-0. They lost the first leg 2-0, and then the second leg they managed to score 4 goals to get themselves through. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, proper football. But now the thing is this: they also either get to play Arsenal or Bayern. Arsenal or Bayern. Arsenal or Bayern. Listen, Atalanta. Yeah. Again, if you play Bayern and you do us a solid, we will listen. I'll find an Atalanta shirt and put it on. Yeah. If you play Arsenal specifically and you smoke them, manage to put them out, yeah, I'm buying an Atalanta shirt. This one is for real and putting it on. Yeah. So Atalanta, yeah, you're on a mission. You are on a mission. But we move to Juve versus Galatasaray. This was another interesting game. Another record in this game that I don't really think should have been a record, right? Because the guy went in the air for the ball. You could see he was focusing on the ball, not necessarily focusing on the ground, right? Focusing on the ball, where the ball was in the air. You could see he was looking towards the ball. And where his foot lands, while he's coming down in the air, is not something he necessarily have control over, considering the fact that he's not even looking, right? He managed to land on the guy, and he got a yellow card for that. Knowing fully, he got a red card. I think it was a straight red card for that, and that kind of changed the entire game for Juve, right? And they managed to drag themselves, right? Being, what was it? 3. They were down by 3, basically, right? Drag themselves, bring them to an equalizing point through, what's his name? Weston McKennie. And yet, they managed to lose the game. In extra time, Osimhen, yeah, buried them. And then they got another goal again, and that was the end of it. So, Galatasaray advanced to the next stage of the competition. And now, who do they play next? They also either play Liverpool or Tottenham. And I think the way the draw going to go, right, this will be my prediction, right? And I'll also give you my prediction, who I think is going to play who and who's not going to play who, right? Everything, and we'll get there. And we'll get to it. And we will get to it. But they can either play Liverpool or Tottenham, right? So we'll see what happened with that. And then finally, but Real Madrid versus Benfica. This was one of the match to watch because there was so many not necessarily complication. There was so many drama and all of that stuff behind it, considering what happened in the first leg with Vinicius Junior. So everybody was looking at it as well. But Benfica scored the first goal in the game, and then Real Madrid equalized through Amene, and then came back to Vinicius Junior and then won the game 2-1. Basically, it's done, right? The moment they equalized, they were already up 2-1 on aggregate, and then Vinicius Junior scored later in the second half, also put them on 3-1 on aggregate. So that was basically the game was done for them, right? But because they scored one goal at Benfica in the first leg. So now Madrid's advanced. And who Madrid could play, right? Interesting. So Real Madrid so Real Madrid could play either Sporting or Man City. And I think it's going to end with them playing Man City because we all love a Man City and Real Madrid fixture. Now, before it used to be Real Madrid and Bayern, right now I think it has moved. Now we are all at that place where we get to watch what's it called, Man City and Madrid go at it. And I think if Man City does not keep the level, it might go to Madrid and Arsenal in a little bit, right? But we will see, exactly what happened with that. I'm all for it, though. I'm all for it. But let's get into it, right? Who I think is going to play who and how it's going to end, right? Now let's do it. So basically, this is the draw, right? Like I already told you who could play who. So PSG could either play Chelsea or not Real Madrid, sorry, but Barcelona. And this is how I'm gonna tell you it's gonna go, right? Chelsea gonna play PSG because the two English teams, I don't think they want to play together right now, or maybe they want them to. I don't know. Chelsea gonna play PSG, and then Barcelona gonna play what's their name? Newcastle. That's how it's gonna go. And then on the other side, Galatasaray will play Spurs. No, Galatasaray will play Liverpool, I think, and then Spurs will play Atletico Madrid. Why can't find my words today? So yeah, that's how I think that one's gonna go. Spurs gonna go to like I said, Atletico Madrid, and then Galatasaray goes to Liverpool. So that's how I think that one's gonna go. And then Real Madrid, I think is gonna definitely be playing Man City. We all know that, and we want that. And then Bodo Glimts versus Sporting. Bodo Glimts versus Sporting Lisbon. I think that's how that one's gonna go as well. I'll be surprised if it goes the other way, to be honest. There's this picture everybody's looking for. And then this one, Atalanta, I think we get Arsenal, and Leverkusen will also get Bayern. I think that's how one is gonna go. But that's how I think it will end up. Maybe not. But I'm hoping it ends like that. Especially the Chelsea and the PSG one. That's what I want. Yeah. FIFA, get on it. You got a job. Make sure you get on it. We won PSG. Listen, we were telling you the other day when they were asking us, who do we want? You remember the video. If you're a Chelsea fan, you have to remember the video. We told them we want Barcelona, and one of the next people that was on the list was PSG. Now we already got through with the Barcelona. Now it's left the PSG. Bring it on. Bring PSG. Please. Luis Enrique said he wants Chelsea. Give him Chelsea. FIFA makes the match. Please make this match happen. If you have to rig everything for this match to happen, rig it. Please. Rig it. We want PSG. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you would change, right? Who do you want to play who? If you want Chelsea playing PSG or Newcastle, let me know. Madrid, who do you want Madrid to play? Man City or Bodo Glimts? Let me know. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Much appreciated. See you in the next video. Right? Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe. Adios, mi amigo.